Dangerous goods are found everywhere, in households, campuses, stores, and even along the roads. And as we all know, these goods are risk to our health and safety as it contains toxic, flammable materials, corrosives, and explosive materials that can harm us.
This is Raisa Caprara speaking along with my co-reporters Camille Mosquera, Abby Dava, Robbie Coladilla, Nikki Suarez, and Mina Arantes allow us to enumerate 10 dangerous goods that can be seen in public, why we classify it as dangerous goods, and how to properly store them. Let's proceed.
I am here outside the Philippine State College of Aeronautics.
I am here at Watson's wearing face mask and implemented during the COVID-19 pandemic.
I am here today at Villamor Pasay.
I am here at the Philippine State College of Aeronautics.
I am here at one of the gasoline stations in Pasay City.
This utility cutter first dangerous good that can be seen in public setting is LPG. LPG stands for liquefied petroleum gas and is commonly used in residential heating, cooking, and hot water systems.
I am here outside the Philippine State College of Aeronautics. And as you can see, behind me are the variety of street foods that uses LPG to cook or heat the food. You may not see it, but they are located below the food display or at the side of the food display.
LPG is a colorless, odorless liquid that readily evaporates into a gas. Normally, an odorant has been added to it to help detect leaks. The primary components of liquefied petroleum gas or LPG are propane, butane, propylene, butylene, and butane. Wonder why LPG explodes? Firstly, a gas leak from the cylinder or regulator gets mixed with the air, forming a combustible mixture. Remember the fire triangle? To complete it, we need a spark or a source of ignition. The spark ignites the combustible LPG air mixture and this leads to an explosion. That being said, LPGs are considered as flammable liquids which are under class 3. LPGs must be stored in pressured vessels to mitigate fire risk associated with the mixture of hydrocarbon gases, but for us to prevent such circumstances in a detailed manner, here's how to store LPGs properly. Number 1. Know where the gas shut-off valve is and how to use it. It should be located in a safe area away from hookers and heat with proper signage. Number 2. Store all cylinders, full or empty, in an upright position externally in a secure, well-ventilated area. Do not store below ground level or adjacent to openings of buildings or drains. Number 3. Keep storage areas clear of combustible materials and ignition sources and clearly mark them with the warnings such as no smoking and fire procedure signs. Number 4. Provide and maintain suitable firefighting equipment like dry powder, extinguishers, and ensure it is readily accessible. Number 5. In rooms where LPG appliances are used, ensure plenty of high and low level ventilation and provide a readily accessible isolation point to which switch off the supply quickly in case of an emergency. And lastly, number 6. Turn off cylinder valves at the end of each working day. The next dangerous good has an addictive smell, yet lethal. Gasolines, also called gas or petrol, has a mixture of volatile, flammable liquid hydrocarbons derived from petroleum and used as fuel for internal combustion engines. That being said, this is considered as class 3 flammable liquid. Ever wonder why gasoline stations have safety precautions such as no smoking in the vicinity?
I am here at one of the gasoline stations in Pasay City. The act of smoking, igniting cigarette lighters or matches, and throwing lighted cigarettes are strictly prohibited in gasoline stations to prevent the start of fire where fuel vapors or fumes are present.
That being said, to avoid injuries when handling gasoline, do not smoke or use any ignition source when near the source. Only use gasoline in well-ventilated areas and store gasoline in approved containers. Never use gasoline in the house or automobile. Keep storage cans outdoors and far away from living quarters and ignition sources such as in a well-ventilated shed. Never store gasoline in any containers except those manufactured from sturdy steel sheeting which cannot easily be punctured. Glass containers and plastic containers used for food and milk are especially hazardous, as are roasted metal cans. Since children so frequently are the victims of gasoline explosions and poisonings, all storage cans should be kept secured and tightly sealed. Consumers should never refuel power equipment like chainsaws, power mowers, and many more when the engines are running or are still hot. If gasoline is spilled on clothing, consumers should change clothes immediately and then wash the clothing. Even when spilled gas appears to have vaporized and the clothing appears to be dry, the affected clothing may still contain enough gasoline to present a serious fire hazard.
The next dangerous goods that can be found in public setting is fireworks. So fireworks can be usually seen in parks, plazas, or outside malls during holidays, festivals, or other events. Fireworks is very popular here in the Philippines, especially on New Year's. Fireworks belongs to class 1 dangerous good, which is explosive. So explosive are materials that can rapidly detonate due to chemical reactions. In addition, fireworks are considered as pyrotechnic objects. So these are substances that are explosive that contains at least one fuel and one oxidizing agent. This is also called as pyrotechnic mixture. The purpose of pyrotechnic is to create entertainment through an effect produced by light, heat, smoke, or fog. So how can we properly store fireworks? So here are some tips on how to handle and properly store fireworks. So number 1, always keep fireworks on their original packaging. Number 2, keep fireworks away from any sources of heat or ignition. So this includes cigarettes, heating, or flames. Number 3, keep fireworks completely dry. And number 4, keep them away from other flammable materials, whether they may be solid or liquid. Next one is to store fireworks in a cool, dry place or in a temperature-controlled area. And next is to keep them away from children or animals. Basically, secure your package. And lastly is to keep fire extinguishers readily available nearby the area. Another dangerous goods found in the public setting is spray paint or aerosol paint. So these are usually seen in hardwares or furniture repair shops, vulcanizing shops, and other automotive repair garage. In general, paints are considered dangerous goods if they are in aerosol form or liquid form, as they may be flammable or corrosive. So to be specific, spray paint is an aerosol and it belongs in class 2 dangerous goods, which is gases, because of the pressurized gas used as a propellant in the can.
I'm Hirti at Villamor, Pasay, and behind me is an electronic repair shop where they also sell spray paint. So these spray paints can be used on several purposes such as wood, metal, glass, or plastics.
Again, spray paint and aerosol is highly flammable because of the propellant gas and the solvent it contains, such as toluene and xylene. It is also combustible because it contains ethylene glycol, which is a combustible liquid. Keep in mind that spray paint is highly flammable and corrosive, meaning that exposure to direct sunlight, heat sources, or sub-freezing conditions can lead to disastrous consequences. That's why it is important to handle and store them properly. So to do this, number 1, we must keep the spray paint away from heat, spark, hot surfaces, or other ignition sources, and even from open flames. And number 2, keep them away from direct sunlight or temperatures that exceeds 50 degrees Celsius. Number 3, we must always remember to keep them upright so that you can prevent leaking. You can also store spray paint in a safety cabinet. And lastly, keep them away from reach of children and animals. For additional reminders, always remember, do not spray on open flames or any ignition sources. Also, do not pierce or burn the can even after using it.
A match is a small stick that produces a flame when rubbed against a rough surface, used for lighting a fire. It consists of three basic parts: a head, which initiates combustion, a tinder substance to pick up and transmit the flame, and a handle.
As you can see, I am here outside the sari-sari store where I can buy matches for only 4 pesos. This matches that I am holding is ready to set fire. Although it is small and cheap, it can start a huge fire in just one.
Matches are classified as Class 4, which are flammable solids under Division 4.2. It is combustible and may ignite from excessive heat, crushing, or dropping. Smoke from fire may be irritating to lungs and eyes. It contains oxidizers, which may increase the burning rate of combustible materials with flare burning effect. Store matches in a cool, dry location away from heat, open flames, or sparks, or flammable materials. They are not universally forbidden on aircraft, however, they must be declared as dangerous goods, and individual airlines and countries may impose tighter restrictions. Medical waste is any kind of waste that contains infectious material or material that potentially infectious. This definition includes waste generated by healthcare facilities like physicians' offices, hospitals, dental practices, laboratories, medical research facilities, and veterinary clinics.
Wearing face masks are implemented during the COVID-19 pandemic. And now that everything's going back to normal, not only you can see them in people's faces, but also in roads, stores, and restaurants.
Medical waste is classified as Class 6, which is toxic and infectious substances under Division 6.2. It contains potentially harmful microorganisms that can infect hospital patients, health workers, and the general public. Other potential hazards may include drug-resistant microorganisms which spread from health facilities into the environment. Medical waste in general are required to be stored in a secure container that limits its exposure to animals, people, and the weather. The waste must also not provide a breeding area for insects or give off nauseous odors.
Perfume are substances that emit and diffuse a pleasant and fragrant smell. It usually has alcohol content and other aromatic substances. It is derived from the Latin word perfumum, meaning to smoke. I am here at Watson's, one of the establishments who sell perfumes and colognes that are considered as a dangerous good. But here you can see that perfumes and colognes are stored properly with a room temperature designated to store perfumes. Perfumes are considered as a dangerous good and are under Class 3 flammable liquids. But some perfumes or colognes that doesn't have an alcohol content is labeled non-flammable would be considered as a non-hazardous product. These are the ways to properly store your perfumes. The first one is store it somewhere cool, dark, and away from direct sunlight and heat. The second one is keep all the perfume scents in an upright position which will protect them from the undue pressure, creation or leaking, and other problems that may occur. The third one is to store your perfume at a consistent temperature. Aerosol disinfectant sprays are considered as a dangerous goods and it is under the Class 2 gases element 2.1 flammable gases. If the contents include 85% by mass or more flammable components and the chemical heat of combustion is 30 kilojoules per gram or more. Aerosols are often considered the most convenient and fast-acting form of disinfecting various surfaces.
Today, we are outside one of the hot pot restaurants here in Newport City, the Banky Hot Pot. And the Banky Hot Pot restaurant uses aerosol disinfectant sprays in cleaning their still surfaces like the tables, chairs, and their countertops and other equipments that the customers use.
Aerosol disinfectant sprays are biochemical instruments created to kill microorganisms
including bacteria and germs, on steel surfaces. Some sprays serves different functions like sanitizing the hands and cleaning soft surfaces. They are often used in public places like the hospital, kitchens, bathrooms, and it is used as a cleaning tool for fast food chains. These are the ways to properly store your aerosol disinfectant sprays. The first one is store it away from heat sources or direct heat from the sunlight. The second one is ensure that the cans are stored upright and not on their sides. The third one is store it in a dry place.
Aside from toxic chemicals, flammable materials, corrosives, and explosive materials, we also have magnetized materials that can be found inside the school premises. For example, this utility cutter that is used for creating precise cuts and opening boxes, which is widely used by the students for their props making. This utility cutter is widely used by the students as they create their props and designs for their upcoming travel expo. It is classified as miscellaneous class 9. Why? Because it doesn't belong to other classes and it doesn't contain chemicals, toxins, or corrosives, but instead it is made up of magnetized materials, which is carbon and stainless steel. How to properly store them? Well, utility cutters should never be left open. Keep the blade retracted and the cutter with its lid and store it safe from children's reach.
We are all aware that crops are protected by pesticides from insects, weeds, fungi, and other pests. Pesticides are classified as Class C, toxic and infectious substance because it has the composition of chemicals that can cause death or serious injury, or to harm human health if swallowed, inhaled, or by skin contact.
I am here at Philippine State College of Aeronautics where pesticides can be applied especially in the garden and in the hallways where lockers are placed to mitigate insects, cockroaches, bugs, and other insects.
Pesticides should be properly kept in a cabinet or ventilated area or garden shed. Never store pesticides in cabinet with or near food, animal feed, or medical supplies. Store flammable liquids outside your living area and far away from an ignition source. In a quick recap of discussion, dangerous goods such as LPG and gasoline are Class 3 flammable liquids, fireworks as Class 1, spray paint as Class 2, matches as Class 4, Division 4.2, medical waste as Class 6, utility cutter as Class 9, and pesticides as Class 6. In this video, you will also learn that carefully reading the dangerous goods ingredients can help you foster awareness to the things that should be done. Also, purchase a proper PPE or personal protective equipment following the procedures of handling and do not skip it. And never mix them with another chemicals. In conclusion, we should be knowledgeable and aware of dangerous goods in our environment, such as how to deal with it to avoid risk scenarios.